Hey everybody in North Texas Cycling. Hey, spring is in the air. The weather's starting to get better. We have some really nice days and then Mother Nature gives us some really crummy days. But of course, there's always the wind. Our frenemy, the wind. You know, I know wind affects a lot of you, especially if you're newer to cycling or if you've kind of been off during the winter time and you get kind of frustrated with the wind. And the wind reminds me of when I was young. I remember going to a dance, you know, it was junior high, and I went up and asked this pretty girl to dance, and she said yes. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is great. I mean, that's like having a tailwind. You're just like, you're on top of the world. Nothing can stop you. You go 100 miles an hour. And then you turn around, and there is her boyfriend. Now, back then I was only 12, and yeah, he was a linebacker on the football team. It wasn't like he was a big guy, but he was a lot bigger than me. And he was like that bully, that headwind, just kept getting in my face and just wouldn't get out of my face. And and he kept howling, just like a headwind. And, well, I digress. But that moment, that night at that dance, started my career as being a faster cyclist. Because I'm telling you what, I was able to ride my bike a lot faster than that guy could catch me. Ha! So here we are, the April rallies are getting ready to fire up, and that's what we're going to talk about. We've got a lot of things going on, but hey, you know what? Let's get you ready for it. Let's get some footage from last September's The Big Dam Bridge up in Arkansas and Little Rock with our great friends up there, and let's get rolling. Starting April 2nd, we have the 10th annual ARC Tex Challenge up in Texarkana, Texas. They've got ride distances of 22, 46, 52, and 70 miles. If you're doing the long distance route at the 30 miles, they have a place where you can stop and have a picture taken while you're standing in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas all at the same time. How cool is that? It's got a 9 to 9:15 staggered start. They want everybody out by 9:15. If you want to get a t-shirt, make sure you register before April 1st. They'll have a pre-packaged breakfast, and after the event they'll have sandwich, chips, and a cookie. Also on April 2nd, a little farther south down in Shiner, Texas, we got the Shiner Gas. That's the Greater Austin Shiner Pedal. They have ride distances of 25, 50, and 100 miles. Now, one big thing about this event is the registration ends on March 27th at 11:59 p.m. Now, they'll have different starting times depending on your ride distance. So if you're doing 100 miles, you'll be starting at 7 a.m., 50 miles at 9 a.m., and the 25 miles at 10 a.m. And by all accounts, it looks like they're going to have some pretty tasty beverages after the event. Now, coming up on April 9th, our good friends at the Greater Dallas Bicyclist are going to be having the Lancaster Country Ride, one of my favorites, just down in Ferris, Texas, right off of I-45. They'll have route distances of 25, 37, and 55 miles. And all the routes take you through Sugar Ridge Road, which will be where they have the wildflowers, and they're usually peak season right about then. So that's a neat thing to see during the ride. Everybody that registers gets their socks, and we can always use another pair of cycling socks. They'll have a rolling start starting at 8:45 to 9:15. Late registration will be $40 day of. Also on April 9th, down south, our good friends at the Tour de Braz in Alvin, Texas. They're part of our North Texas cycling community. They'll be having their 29th annual Tour de Braz. They'll have ride distances of 34, 50, 65, and 100 miles, and that's through Brazoria County, and that is a really pretty area to cycle through. They have a 7 a.m. start. Now, they won't have a post-ride party this year, but they will have food to go after the event. The next weekend on April 16th, we got gravel. We got a gravel race. Our good friends at the Spinistry will be having the Red River Riot up in Munster, Texas. It'll be starting at the 4R Ranch Vineyards and Winery. And they have ride distances of 30, 60, and 120 miles. 120 miles on gravel. That'll get your attention. That event starts at 8 a.m. Next, on April 16th, we have the 3rd annual Ride of Honor, sponsored by the Dallas Police Cycling Team. That'll be in Crum, Texas. They have ride distances of 33, 58, 74, and 100 miles. They have starting times between 7:10 and 7:15 a.m., depending on your ride distance. The great thing about this rally, and all the rallies are charitable organizations, but this one, the proceeds go to the Halos Fund, which helps families of fallen Dallas police officers. Last, on April 16th, we have the Tour de Cypress in Mount Vernon, Texas. They have, and hey, you gotta love this photo. You know, the one thing we have to remember is cycling and riding your bike is for everybody of all ages. And in fact, a lot of events do have family fun rides that are a few miles, and it looks like they have one here. And their route distances will be 10 miles, 30, 40, 52, and 100K. They'll be starting at 9 a.m. in a staggered start. Now, if you want to get a t-shirt, you got to register before the 8th of April. They'll have free lunch and free Budweiser for paid registration folks and for the volunteers. Gotta like that. And then on the 23rd of April, we have the 42nd. The 42nd. Is that amazing or what? The German Fest Metric Century Bicycle Rally, again up in Munster, Texas. They have route distances of 22, 40, and 63 miles. Now, this is the first of the European Tour of Texas Challenge. There are 4 different rallies that are a part of this challenge. They'll have a 10 a.m. start. The first 1,000 the first 1,000 people registered will get a t-shirt. Also, each rider gets 1 pass to the German Fest ground because, hey, German Fest will be going on. And we'll get 2 free beer or soda tickets. That'll be a fun time up there this year. Last but not least, on April 23rd, we have a race. We have not just one race, we have several races. This is the Davy Crockett Classic up in down in Crockett, Texas. Now, unfortunately, these folks were just hit with a tornado, so let's hope that everything still goes well with that and everybody's okay there. We certainly had some rough weather recently. This is over April 23rd and 24th. It's a 2-day event, depending on what you're doing. You can sign up for what you want to do. On the 23rd, they're going to have a time trial. And just remember, if you've never done a time trial, you don't have to have a time trial bike. You can use your road bike. Also on the 23rd, they're going to have crit races of all different categories. And on the 24th, they're going to have a road race. And the distance will be 48, 65, or 83, depending on various categories. And then for the youth categories, it'll be 31 or 48 miles. Again, these are timed races here. So if you want to, for some of those that you like and be in the spirit of a real race, give it a shot. And hey, you can go do more than one event, whatever you want to do. There will be no on-site registration. Well, there you have it. Now, there are so many events in April. There was no way we could list them all because you don't want to hear me for an hour talking. So make sure you go to the Wheel Brothers calendar at North Texas Cycling on our Facebook site. We will always have it. It's either going to be in the featured up at the top, or it may be right next to the featured. It'll be up there. And of course, in the first comment of this video, we'll have that calendar. So you can find out all the different events, because there is a lot going on, much more in April, especially in the last 2 years. There is a lot going on. So if we didn't mention a rally that you like to go to or a race, go look in there. And hey, if there's something really good going on that we didn't mention, let us know about it. So here we go. We're getting ready to start. I'm excited about the season coming up in the summertime, and boy, just getting out and seeing everybody at the different rallies and events. I've got a lot of them planned. Hope to see you there. We appreciate you being a part of North Texas Cycling. It's always you men and women here that make cycling great. Hey, and if you get to cycle, go out, have a great and safe ride. Thanks for being a part of North Texas Cycling. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.